Oh,
Yes, we are back.
we're back. This is like our second stream in 3 days.
Feels like our 15th and 2
We're back after a
of,
long weekend of lots and lots of football,
of awesomeness.
of awesomeness, of watching nonstop football.
It
We
was
we had, we
great.
had we had to get an episode in, of
Oh, we
course,
had to.
because I know you guys were dying for one.
We
All
had all of our fans were asking for it.
they were like threatening to unfollow us and stuff, and like it would have
Yeah,
been bad if we didn't record today. So
it was
um,
crazy. If you
one,
if you get annoyed by me looking up, it's because I'm watching the end of the Boston Miami game that's going on right now.
what's the score?
It is 113, 112, Miami, 50 seconds. Jimmy Buckets with the ball in his hand.
Bro, I'm just excited for Game 7 tonight.
Oh, they missed. Boston's getting a chance. I know that's going to be such a good game. I think it's
No.
on right after this. So.
It is, yeah. I really want to see the Nuggets pull off another 3-1 comeback. That'd be so sick.
That'd be crazy. I mean, like we talked about, I thought that they were going to run out of steam if they got to Game 7, but they looked pretty good in Game 6. So.
Oh yeah, I'd be so hyped. I bet like I'm kind of worried.
Adrenaline.
I'm kind of worried Kawhi is just going to take over and win it for him. It's probably going to happen, but
Yeah.
you never know because they got some fight in them though.
I saw Richard Jefferson and Vince Carter were talking earlier, and they said that the key for the Clippers is Paul George tonight. Because you know Kawhi is going to have a good game
Yeah.
because he's Kawhi. But Paul
Yeah.
George has to have a solid game for them.
And playoff Paul George has been very, very inconsistent. I guess is the
Right?
best word for it.
We've seen both playoff P and pandemic P at the same time.
Pandemic P. Oh
I
man.
love it.
Yeah, so anyone who's live, who's watching us live right now, make sure you interact with us in the chat. We love talking to you guys.
Yes,
we
ask
did last time.
questions.
Yeah,
Tell us how stupid we are. Whatever
Yeah.
you got to do.
please do. There's only like 4 or 5 of you watching at a
Oh.
time, so we'll definitely see what you're saying. So
Kimba just hit the classic Yukon step back right there.
did he?
We got Boston 114, Miami 113, 23 seconds left.
Well,
Love it.
yeah,
But we have the sidebar up, right?
we do have the sidebar up.
Is it on my
Yeah,
right side
yeah,
again?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
cool.
always
Sweet.
gonna be your right side.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't it? Ah,
We got
this is
we just
so
got
pretty.
such praise about the sidebar. I had to bring it back for you guys. So,
Oh, we had to.
and as you notice, it's all football today.
Love it.
Because usually it's called Overreaction Monday, but this is what we like to call Overreaction Tuesday.
Yes, it's coming.
Yeah. So
Well, we had to wait for Monday Night Football to get done, so it's
we
got to
did.
be Tuesday.
Yeah. So we gotta get it all in for us since we only do it about once a week anyway. So we just gotta kick it off with the Hawks, baby. They looked good.
Yes, they looked real
They
good.
looked real good.
I mean, and I saw today too, because after going from the preseason, which I think we were like not even in the top 10 of the power rankings, we're now
Mhm.
ranked 4.
We should be. It'd be very questionable if we weren't, because I think I watched pretty much every game on Sunday, and we definitely looked like a top 5 team. Like no question.
What are your reactions of let Russ cook? Did it happen?
It did happen. It absolutely
agree.
happened. He cooked.
Ooh.
Cooked.
They
And
I feel like they're starting to figure it out. Chris Carson had a phenomenal game back there.
yeah,
Um,
I saw a stat where Schottenheimer called it was like over 70% pass plays in the first quarter, and that's the highest since
Love it. I love
like
that.
2018 maybe. But I think that's huge to let Russ get going in the first quarter and let defenses sit back, and then we can go to the run game later maybe now.
Right? I love it. And I mean, like we didn't even really pound the run game that much.
No, Chris Carson
but-
only had 6 attempts, I think.
Right. He had 6 attempts for 21 yards,
Mm-hmm.
but he was phenomenal out of the backfield.
He had
receiving.
He had 2 touchdowns receiving, right?
45 yards, 6 receptions.
Yep.
I might have to pause here for a second. Jimmy Buckets goes up and gets the and one. We're going to the free throw line to get them up 2 with 15 seconds. This is unreal.
There you go.
Buckets. But yeah, I mean, it was a fantastic game. Russ had a big game, obviously. What do you have, like 35 attempts or something like that?
He was 31 of 35 for 3 something.
Yeah, that 322. That's just a phenomenal game for him. 4 touchdowns. He had a big 4th down. just a go get the ball kind of thing to
Yeah.
DK Metcalf after he bounces back from his pretty bad drop that
Well,
he had earlier.
I think 3 of his incompletions were drops or like
Yeah.
catchable balls. So he easily could have been like 34, 35.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it was an impressive game, pretty much all around. And
Yeah.
I mean, I think we got to give a little bit of notice to that dude in the back of the defense that's just flying around.
Come on. He seemed pretty bored, didn't he?
I think he was pretty bored.
He's pretty bored. Yeah.
I still think we gave up too much for him.
Yeah. He seems super bored. Greg Williams was right. He's really bored in that defense and
Yeah.
wasn't kind of sat back there the whole time, didn't do anything. But no, dude, literally, I've never seen anyone play like he has because I never really watched him in New York that much. I knew of him.
Right.
I knew what kind of player we're getting, but I've never seen someone fly around the field that well. The only person I can think of who does that is Earl, but they're really different players.
Right.
for
And,
sure.
and Earl doesn't roll up a lot and get in the
No,
back.
exactly. But he flies all over the back of the defense. But Jamal gives you that extra edge of coming off the edge and
Yeah.
getting quarterback pressure.
He really gives me a Eric Berry vibe. They really like
Mhm.
to roll him up and let him get in. But they showed a stat. He had 2 tackles for losses last week, and our previous safeties, I think combined, had like 2 tackles for losses
Makes
all
sense.
of last season.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's really awesome to see. There's a playmaker in the back again. He's kind of a mix of Earl and Cam, so it's gonna be
Absolutely.
really exciting
Yeah.
for the Seahawks to watch. And I love seeing Bruce Irvin back. Like,
Yeah.
that was big. I think he had a sack too, and it
Benson Amoya.
Yes.
Amoye.
yeah.
Yeah, he looked good too.
Umawawa?
Umawawa.
By next week, we'll figure out how to say
And
his
people
name.
forget that he was with us for 1 year back in 2013. So now he's 29, and it looks like he can give us something off the line. And we'll talk about this later when we talk about the Monday night games. But
Yep.
I don't think we'll miss Clowney.
I think we will. Obviously, he makes a difference.
But I don't think
Um,
it will
but-
be as bad as people say.
correct.
Let's
I
put it that
agree.
way.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yep.
People were kind of worried about the pass defense. What happened?
Dude, Tatum went up to just jam to tie this game up, and Bam Abadubudubu went up and just stuffed him.
Good. Go Heat.
Oof. And now he's going to the line. 2.5 seconds left. He's got 2 free throws. Put it out of reach. Oof.
Okay, yeah, but people were kind of concerned about the pass defense because Matt Ryan ended up throwing for like 450, but most of that came in garbage time, so you guys you can't worry about that. He threw the ball.
It's Matt Ryan.
He threw the ball 51 times.
Yeah.
Like,
It's Matt Ryan. He's going to put up numbers.
by the time
They've got Julio. They've
yeah.
got Calvin.
And by the time we were up, weren't we up 38-19 at one point or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, by that time we're going to sit and prevent. We're going to let him get the dink and dunks and throw it to Julio. But they have a really good offense. That's the thing. The Falcons, their problem is their defense. Their offense was never the
Definitely.
problem, and that was clear on Sunday.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Miami wins. Let's go. Game
Let's go.
1.
Yeah. So
Speaking of overreaction Tuesday, the Bucks are a trash heap.
I hope Spence. I hope you're watching this.
Overreaction Tuesday, Bucks go 0-16.
Next on the sidebar. Should Buck fans be worried?
0-16. They're on track for it right now.
It might happen.
Yeah.
It
Now that I'm
might
done with
happen.
my overreaction for Tuesday, they're totally fine.
They're fine. Yeah.
Yeah, they played New Orleans. That's literally a team that's Super Bowl contenders this year. Brady's obviously got to have some time to build a connection with literally an all new staff other than Gronk, but like we said, Gronk was probably still hungover from the offseason.
Obviously.
I mean,
A
it's
summer long hangover.
yeah, whole new offense, whole new getting going.
It's a complete different quarterback for the receivers than what they have with Jameis, and they
Definitely.
just gotta. It's going to take some time, but by week 5, week 6, they'll be rolling. And usually Tom Brady and when he was on the Patriots, they were usually slow starters anyway.
right.
So I think that's what we're getting here, and he's Tom Brady. He's going to get going.
For sure.
No one should be worried or thinking that they're done because they're
Not at all.
No.
Because he's got to get timing down with his receivers. He's got to get all that stuff back. He was expecting, I think it was Godwin, and he threw that pick six. It was intended for Godwin.
Yeah.
He was expecting him to kind of break back and come through his cut a little quicker than he actually did because he hasn't worked with him a long time. And so it just laid up there for the cornerback, and he read his eyes well. Like it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
They've got to get a little bit of time. But I did chuckle pretty hard when I saw the picture of Jameis Winston on the sideline, and the caption was like, "Throw as many picks as you do touchdowns and lose to Drew Brees." I could have done that.
I know, right? Yeah.
I just love it.
Yeah. But also the Bucks, their defense looked good too.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
They didn't look awful. I mean, like we said again, it was against New Orleans. Like it's a top offense in the league.
No.
I think Brees only threw for 160 yards. He had 2 touchdowns, 160 yards. He was 18 of 30. So obviously their passing didn't kill them. Kamara had a pretty good game, but you expect that. Like he's a top running back in the league.
The Saints are a top 3-5 team in the NFC. So you definitely can't overreact on the Bucs season after a loss at New Orleans. You just can't.
Right.
And,
actually, I misspoke a little bit. Kamara did not have that great of a game.
No.
He had 12 carries for 16 yards.
Yeah.
He did have a touchdown because he punched it on the goal line, but he did have 51 receiving yards out of the backfield.
Yeah.
But I mean their defense actually played pretty stellar.
She seems like everyone's kind of rusty this week, besides Russ, but he's Russ, so
Unlimited.
Lamb Cook. Rojo looked good too with the Bucks.
Yes.
And Fournette didn't look good.
No, I expected that fully.
But
there was obviously
But
reasons.
the way Rojo played, he's going to keep that spot until
I think so
until
too.
they say otherwise.
And I think maybe Fournette comes in and gets to be a bruiser back every once in a while, change of pace and all kind of stuff. So I think it'll work well, but I don't think Fournette's going to be like a godsend like people thought he was.
No, yeah. JB said, too bad Mitchell didn't watch the game of the week.
I just don't understand why it's the game of the week, national television, and I have to watch Arizona. Like, it was fun to watch, which we'll get to here in a second.
Game, yeah.
But I wanted to watch the Bucks. So whatever. Thanks a lot, Jib.
Yeah. So, all in all, Bucks are fine. Bucks fans should not be worried.
Don't worry.
Don't worry, Spence. We're telling you not to worry. You're fine. It's okay.
Relax, Spence.
Take a chill, just deep breath. It'll be okay.
Easy, buddy. Because who they got this week? We've got.
Spence made a good point on Twitter that the 0-2 Bucks lost to the Saints in Week 1 too.
Oh, look at that.
So your pick might work out here just because of that.
Yeah, I think that they play Carolina next week. And Carolina looked pretty decent this week. They maybe have some more struggles again, but I feel by week 3 when they see Denver and then week 4 when they see the Chargers, everything's gonna start to click and they'll get rolling. So
yeah, for sure.
Do not be worried.
All right, moving on to Aaron Rodgers and the Packers.
Did I nail it?
You're actually pretty close.
Yes.
A little more up.
Right here.
Yeah. He looked good.
Dude, I think he is. It was one or the other. He was going to be super mad about the first round draft pick and wasn't going to play his heart out or just be like so hung up on it.
Yeah.
But it is revenge tour.
And we talked about this on Saturday, didn't we? And
we did.
We kind of predicted this, didn't we? I think so.
I think you kind of predicted it. I was kind of half and half.
Yeah. But no, I thought, I kind of had a feeling he was just going to play lights out. And again, overreaction Tuesday. He's going to be an MVP.
I like it.
Candidate the rest of the year.
I like it for overreaction.
Yeah, and lots of people are saying, "Oh, don't get overhyped on him. Like it's just week 1." But the Vikings, they're not a bad defense.
They're actually a really good defense, and the
defense.
fact that he tore him up like that, he'll go to Detroit next week, tear up their defense.
Mm-hmm.
The New Orleans game might be a little bit tougher defense. Atlanta, tear up their defense. He's got Minnesota again. He's got Jacksonville, Indianapolis, Chicago. Oof.
Yeah,
those numbers could be big this year, folks.
Yeah. I think it's definitely their division right now to control because the Lions didn't look any. They looked good for 3 quarters, but then blew it like they usually do.
Right.
The Bears maybe will be okay. I don't know, but other than that, it's definitely the Packers division, and they're in their control too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean 364 with 4 touchdowns. He was 32 of 44. That's a pretty decent passing percentage.
Yeah.
He only had 1 carry for 2 yards though, so that'll be interesting to watch throughout the year to see if he's kind of adapting more to a pocket passer.
Well, last year he wasn't. Uh, Last year he didn't really run it either.
Yeah, but that was because he had that knee problem or whatever. Like he'd
Yeah,
been hurt the whole season. This year, supposedly he's fully healthy, so I thought maybe he was going to go back to it, but we'll see.
you're right, JB. The only thing worse than being a Mariners fan is being a Lions fan. I agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ouch.
DeAndre
Ouch.
Swift, man, did you watch that? Did you see that?
Ew, that was brutal.
I feel so
Yeah.
bad for that kid.
I am kind of excited
Uh,
for him to have AP in the locker room with him, though.
Yeah,
Um,
that'll help him a lot. And,
yeah.
the Jags tanking.
Minshew mania?
I don't think their players want to tank.
I don't think so
Doesn't
either.
look like it.
I think Minshew's in. I think Minshew is out to prove all the people that draft him in the first round of fantasy draft correct. Because we all know that they
Yep.
drafted him in the first round
Tons of
because
them did. Yeah.
they saw his potential.
Yep,
And
ton-
that
yep.
was solely the only
Pure
reason. They
potential,
drafted
not because he's a kook or anything. No,
him. No, not because he's a kook.
Kook. Kook.
Not because they're
Kook.
automatically entered into a drawing to get free beer for a year if they draft him in the first round. None of that.
Yeah, and they played the Colts too, and that was my pick to win the division.
Right, I know. Philip Rivers looked like classic Philip Rivers.
That's the thing. Like he didn't look bad, but I feel like he throws the picks
worst
at the worst time.
timed. Yes,
The worst time picks.
it's bad.
And that last
But-
drive, T.Y. Hilton dropped 2 first downs to keep the
Yeah,
drive going.
that always is rough. So I mean, it's just interesting, and like we said, it's chemistry again. They got to get used to it. I guarantee you, Philip Rivers slings the ball a little bit harder than Jacoby Brissett did.
Yeah.
So he's got to get his hands ready for that.
Yeah.
All good stuff.
Absolutely.
I don't think. Oh wait, it's Overreaction Tuesday. Never mind. Jags are phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Super Bowl.
Oop, oop. That's a little bit past overreaction.
No,
I thought-
but they're gonna be
I thought they
solid.
looked
They're,
pretty
they're gonna be
solid,
okay. I think obviously management wanted to tank, but
Right.
I think they're too talented to. They're young. They're scrappy, and I think they're gonna finish around anywhere from 6-10 to 9-7 maybe. I think they'll be around that.
I think they're going to get on that upper end. I think Minshew really is going to have a solid year. I'm
Yeah.
not going to say he's going to have an amazing year, but he's going to put his numbers up. Like we know that that's the case with him. He didn't have a ton of yards, I think, if
It
I'm
was like
correct, this week.
159 or something. He was 19 of 20 though.
Yeah,
so really efficient and
with 3
kept-
touchdowns.
took care
And
of the
so
ball.
he knew what he had to do this week, and he got it done. So I think it's going to be really interesting. They go see the Titans next week.
Yeah.
Who the Titans didn't look phenomenal.
No.
They didn't look awful, but they definitely didn't look like the team I thought they were going to come out like blazing right off the bat. But
And as much as I don't want to root for a Coug, I like watching Minshew play because he just has fun out there. He doesn't. He gives zero craps and he just wants to play.
he's excitable.
Yeah, he is.
I love
Next,
it. Oof.
the same old Browns.
Oof.
The same old Browns, man. You thought
Yeah.
you thought they were going to turn around this year,
I thought so.
and I know it was
I-
against the Ravens, but they looked awful.
I mean,
they
it
looked
isn't-
so bad.
It wasn't good. Baker was 21
No.
of 39. Didn't even have 200 yards. He had a touchdown and interception. He only had 3 yards running, which like needs to get way up from there. But like we did say, they did play Baltimore. Baltimore's a very solid defense.
Yeah.
Lamar's an unreal player, so their defense was getting torched. And I think what really helps them is that they're going to go Cincinnati, Washington, Dallas, Indianapolis, all in a row. And I think Washington did look good against Philadelphia in the second half.
The football team.
But yeah, the football team, I don't think they keep it up. So it's 4 weeks of pretty solid ball for them. But if they play like they did this week, it doesn't matter who they're playing.
I think we're starting to see kind of Baker have that. He's not as delusional as Johnny Manziel or as much as an idiot, but he kind of
Right.
had that in college where he kind of just ran around and chucked it up and
Yeah.
threw it to his big receivers. He can't really do that in the NFL.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
not
think
going to work
it's
here, buddy.
starting to catch up to him. You said that he needs to run more. I would say that he needs to try to run less and like try to scramble less because he really needs to turn into kind of a Drew Brees type arm where he sits in the pocket, and because he's not the biggest in the world either. So
I just don't think he has the talent to be able to sit there. Like I think if they're going to win, if
well,
he's going to be
he's not as athletic as he thinks he is. That's the thing.
I agree,
He thinks
but
he is, but he's not.
I think that they could use him like doing read options, doing something like that, being able to boot him out and let him because he does throw on the run pretty well, and he can run pretty well. So
Yeah.
I just don't think he's skilled enough to be able to stand in the pocket like Breeze does. So they have to find something else to make him better.
And he came out saying either yesterday or today that he can't force the ball to OBJ. That just needs to happen naturally. And at this point, it's not happening naturally. You can
No,
just
not at
tell.
all.
So maybe
Not
it
at
is time
all.
to start forcing him the ball and just let OBJ go get it.
Right, and maybe his wide receivers should probably not talk smack.
Probably. Yeah.
Marcus Peters probably wasn't too happy about that and kind of came out and showed you what's up. So
That happens too.
maybe tone it down a little bit.
Cardinals.
Told you.
Grateful.
Told you.
I think DeAndre Hopkins is I think he backed up his tweet.
Told you.
I take back my words about that tweet. He backed it up. Yeah.
I think they looked really good
They looked really good.
because the 49ers are a good team.
But Jimmy G sucks. He's so bad.
Garoppolo looked like
He's awful.
trash.
He's trash. He's
So I'm looking
bad.
more on the fact of Arizona's offense going up against San Francisco's defense looked really good.
Yeah.
Kyler looked like he was poised. He made a lot of really good decisions. He still made some that were like, maybe not, but he looked like a playmaker back there. He got out of a lot of sacks. There was a couple plays he extended with his feet. Hopkins, dude, the dude's for real.
Yeah.
And you're going to have Hopkins and Kyler Murray in that offense with the veteran leadership from Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, I know not a lot of people they're going to be like, oh, it's not that big a deal. But watching him run over and grab that ball from Hopkins and sprint it to the center so they can get the ball down so that they could spike it to be able to get that feel. I mean, that's the veteran leadership and the mindset and all that kind of stuff that has to happen from him. And it won the game for him. Like, that's a huge move.
Yeah. How about them dogs on the Cardinals?
Woof.
Byron Murphy making that last deflection to win the game.
That was big.
Ezekiel Turner, he blocked the punt.
That's
Come
huge.
on. No.
And I mean the Buda Baker is just he compliments back there so well.
Yeah.
He's a phenomenal you're never going to look at him and be like, oh, he's amazing, but he just plays so well back there and is able to do so many different things. He's a versatile player, just like Isaiah Simmons is. Like, I think they're going to have a lot of fun with that defense, being able to mix up looks, mix up positions, all that kind of stuff. They're going to be a fun team to watch in general.
For sure, yeah. And I think they're definitely with us. I think they're the team that we need to beat because
have to.
The Rams looked okay. I don't know.
Nothing phenomenal.
But the Niners just aren't there this year, and I
agree.
I saw that a little bit. Like, I obviously I knew they weren't going to be as good as last year, but Jimmy G sucks. I'm just going to put it out there.
No, he exposed himself quite a bit.
Yeah.
It was the same thing that we left off in the playoffs last year. Like, when the plays on the line, he's got to make a good throw for it. I mean, there was a couple that he was just completely behind, completely off, and it was like, those are terrible. And it was down the stretch too. And,
yeah. But yeah, watch out for the Cards. The Cowboys, are they overhyped?
Trash.
Are they overhyped again?
Way overhyped.
Way overhyped.
Trash.
Same.
I thought
every year, man.
I thought their defense looked almost abysmal.
Yeah.
Like, they were hyping them up, saying that the defense was going to be one of their strong suits. Not great. I mean, they're going to be good against the lower teams, but I mean, you saw somebody like the Rams, who is a, I would say, like, middle, like the top middle of the pack offensive threat.
Yeah.
Just kind of torched. I mean, Jared Goff had 275 yards.
And he looked better though than he did last year though. That's the thing.
He did look much better. And I just think that they struggled. I think Dak Prescott, I don't know if it was necessarily him or if it was play calling. There wasn't a whole lot of big plays made by him.
No.
I
think that OPI at the end of the game was weak, for sure. I think Ramsey kind of made it happen himself.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But I do agree. Like, if the receiver has his arm fully extended, and he gains any kind of advantage from it.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, does he gain any advantage if
From
Ramsey doesn't flop? Like, if he doesn't push himself back, but he did, so I get it. And my brother was pretty happy because he won by 1 point
Oh,
because
that's
of that.
right. Because of
Like
that.
he,
Yeah.
if it would have been a complete pass, he loses. It got called
That's
back and he
right.
wins by
Yeah.
1.
Forgot about that. Yeah. But yeah, same old Cowboys, man. They're overhyped again. They're not going to do anything special. The only way they would get into the playoffs is because the NFC East looks so bad.
Yeah, I agree. It I thought that the Rams, for how good they were supposed to be this year, the
Mhm.
Cowboys I'm talking about,
Yeah.
the Rams are definitely a team that they should have beat and handed it easily.
They should have.
I
Yeah.
I thought that it was, and it's not like they didn't have a very productive game from their dudes that they were supposed to. Like they had a huge game from Zeke.
Yeah. Zeke had a huge game.
So if you have Zeke putting up those kind of numbers and you can't be able to hand a team like that, that it's going to be interesting for them to see what happens. But I definitely agree. It's going to be a weaker league probably this year.
Yeah.
That's why I thought that the Giants have a chance, just because everybody's so weak. I mean, we saw the Washington football team took down the Eagles pretty handily. So
Yeah.
it's going to be an interesting.
But you mentioned the Giants. That moves on to our reaction to the Monday night games. And the Giants looked awful, man.
I thought they looked phenomenal.
They look terrible.
I mean,
0-16 overreaction Tuesday.
It's going to be a tough road for them if they can't get
Their
as
O
much
line's
production.
terrible.
If
That's
they
the
can't get
thing.
as much
Yeah.
production from their own line because they had no pass protection, holes were like non-existent for
Yeah.
Saquon, and the dude's unreal, so he can make plays happen, but not.
But he can't do
every
everything. No,
single snap.
no.
Yeah.
And he made plays in the passing game though, so that's I guess that's what
Which
they're going to have to do
helps.
with him. But what he end up with, like 10 carries for 16 yards or something.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it was super low because we'll get to him in the booms and busts.
Yeah.
Little foreshadowing, but it was just like, yikes. They looked decent right off the very bat. Like they started going, it was like, okay, maybe, and then it was just like,
And the Steelers didn't look that good either.
no.
Big Ben, it looks like he can't throw anymore. I'm gonna be honest. Like he can throw fades and stuff, but his arm just doesn't look the same now after surgery.
It just drags through. Nothing's got really a lot of zip to it and all stuff. I think
Yeah.
that he's still going to win games for them because of his just being Ben.
Yeah.
He had a 2-minute drive at the end of the first half that was big, and it was just him being a play caller and taking people down the field and all that kind of stuff. And then I think that he just kind of finding Juju and letting him do his thing, all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
Who's that other
Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson looked pretty
Yeah.
good too.
Yeah.
Overhype Tuesday or Overreaction Tuesday, the next Antonio Brown that I'm hearing from 1,000 different people. This dude's the next Antonio Brown. Overreaction. Easy.
How old is he? Is he young? Is he like a?
I really don't know. I don't know a whole lot about him. I didn't really know anything about him until he came on the scene.
Oh, here's your overreaction Tuesday comment from Spencer. Duck Hodges is going to start at some point. The Steelers' backup quarterback.
Yeah, that's a little bit of an overreaction.
Yeah, but hey, it's okay. You know why? It's overreaction Tuesday. It's okay.
No, honestly,
Give it to him.
I'm with him a little bit though, because I think I actually talked about that before we started. That Roethlisberger's
Wasn't
gonna
Duck
lose.
Hodges awful last year though?
He was.
He was really bad.
But I think that eventually they're just gonna get to a spot where it's like we got to move on from him. But I think if he plays like he did last week, it wasn't anything special, but he was just a leader in the game and was able to keep drives alive and to make the throws that you should make as a professional quarterback. He'll be able to stay for the rest of the season, but they definitely got to start looking.
I bet they
for
draft a quarterback this offseason though.
Exactly. Yeah. They've got to start looking for their next option.
And then the last night game was Denver and Tennessee. What the hell happened to Steven Gostkowski?
I'm not really sure, honestly.
He was in his own head last night.
I think, in quick side note, Deontay Johnson is 24 years old, so
Okay,
that's
he's
pretty
young.
young.
Yeah, he's pretty young. Yeah.
But I mean, it was like, whoa, like what is happening? I was pretty excited to see him be able to knock down the game-winning field goal, though,
Good for
because
him,
it's.
yeah. Hopefully, that gets his confidence back. Yeah.
But did you see his reaction after he hit it too?
Yeah,
Like
he
all
was just like,
his teammates were like all over him, and he's like, "Guys, it was a 25-yard kick." Like,
I know. Yeah.
I hate that we're so excited that I finally made one.
I mean, it was game winner, so he probably would have been more excited if he actually made his kicks earlier. But if he made his kicks
for
earlier, they
sure.
wouldn't be in that situation. They would have been up by 2 scores. That's the thing.
For sure.
Yeah.
But one thing that I thought was pretty interesting, Drew Lock didn't look bad.
He didn't look bad.
No,
I like
I
Drew
mean,
Lock. I like Drew Lock.
I don't think he closed amazingly, but
No,
I mean,
because they had so many chances to put that game away. I think at one point they were up 13-7 and had the ball. Or no,
right.
maybe. Yes,
Well,
or up
yeah, they
14
did.
up 14-13 and
Yes.
had the ball.
But like
Yeah.
if you go back and look at all the offensive numbers from both teams, they were actually they just didn't get in the end zone. Like I'm looking right here, Derrick Henry had 116 yards carries, rushing,
Rushing, yeah.
but but no touchdowns.
Yeah.
Like that's some pretty good yardage that you're putting up right there. And I thought that Tannehill actually looked pretty good too.
Yeah. It
He
was a
made some
weird
really
it was a weird game cuz the numbers looked good from the players and they looked okay, but it was sloppy.
it was just close. Like it was almost like both teams would look phenomenal on the whole part of the field and then get into the red zone and it was like they just
Well, and all the
it-
missed field goals too, so that didn't
yeah,
help.
no
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah.
Tannehill had 250 yards with 2 touchdowns. Like looked everybody pretty much looked good. I think Philip Lindsay is overrated.
Well,
Very over.
he's hurt now too.
He has turf toe,
Yeah.
aka he can't run the ball. Melvin Gordon, I think Melvin Gordon's going to step up.
Looks solid,
and
yeah.
I think he's going to step into that role and be really good.
I forgot that. Well, Melvin Gordon was starting anyway, but I forgot they had Royce Freeman too. Completely forgot about him.
Right,
Yeah.
right. He was from Texas, right? The Texas
Oregon.
kid. Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah.
But yeah, without Phil Lindsay, they'll be okay. And
Yeah.
I think But back to Drew Lock, I think he looks solid. People were kind of like questioning him coming this season, but I like the way he plays.
For sure.
I'm a Drew
And
Lock
like
guy.
I think he kind of puttered out in the second half. He had a really phenomenal, but he had 216 yards for a touchdown, which
Yeah.
I mean is pretty decent for especially a low scoring game as that was. So
Yeah. All right, real quick, our fantasy booms and busts of the week.
booms and
I know
busts.
you had a whole list. I don't. So
I have a full on list. I'm just gonna run through them real quick. For bust, we got Joe Mixon was drafted in like the second round of
he's
a lot of
always
drafts.
a bust. Always.
Always a bust. He was
Always a bust.
projected 14 points this week. Only got 5 of them. Evan Ingram was one of the top tight ends. In fact, I drafted him in one of my drafts and even said as I was drafting him,
Bust.
don't want him.
Bust.
Projected 11, only got 2. Le'Veon Bell projected 13, only got 6. He was getting drafted so high for being projected 13 points anyways. Michael Thomas, I will give him the benefit of the doubt that he got his ankle sprained at the end of the game, but it was literally the last play of the game. So it has
quick side note, I just traded him to JB in our 6-person league
I saw that was a good pickup, but I think he's going to go off,
because he's a high ankle sprain and is going to be out for a few games. So
right?
there you
Michael
go.
Thomas
All you.
projected 20 points, grabs 4 of them. Bust. Nick Chubb projected 13, grabs 5 of them. Bust. Mark Ingram projected 10, grabs 2 of them. Bust. Kerryon Johnson projected 9 points, and with the absolute abysmal of DeAndre Swift, only gets 1 point. Bust. Okay, now let's get booming a little bit. Let's boom.
But yes, let's get some positivity in here.
There was a couple players that really surprised me. Darius Slayton. I thought it was going to be Sterling Shepard, but Darius Slayton projected 9. He goes off for 28 points.
6 catches.
Now this is
6 catches, 2 touchdowns, right?
right. Now this is I'm going off a PPR league because that's what I like to play. So he'll get a couple more points than the regular leagues because he got 6 points off of receptions only.
Yeah.
Dallas Goedert, the tight end from the Philadelphia Eagles, not named Zach
He
Ertz.
needs to start over Zach Ertz.
I'm thinking so too. I need to trade Zach Ertz, but it was projected 10 points, which is still pretty high for a tight end too, and he gets 25 points. Like that's a good little boom right there. Chris Carson. We talked about the fact that he had such low rushing numbers, but it was because he had like 5 receptions out of the backfield for
catch the
over
ball.
50 yards, and he had 2
Mhm.
receiving touchdowns. Like if they're gonna let Russ cook and he's gonna throw it a lot, and he's using Chris Carson's gonna get those looks out of the backfield, and he's gonna be that change of pace running the ball, especially when they get up big at the end and they let him go for it. So
Yeah.
Chris Carson is someone to look after. Adam Thielen projected 15 points, got
Thanks, JB.
31 points.
Yeah, without Diggs there.
He's a big target,
They were down a lot though, pretty early, so they were started chucking it.
and they might have to do that quite a bit. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We're gonna rattle some off. Raheem Mostert projected 11, gets 24. Boom. Josh Jacobs projected 17, gets 35. Boom.
Big week, yep.
Josh Allen. I mean, I see him as a boom. I thought this was projected pretty low. He was projected for 21 points. He goes off and booms for 31 points.
Beast.
Like that's what's up. Aaron Rodgers only projected 19, but says and gets 38. Jamison Crowder from the New York Football Jets projected for 12, gets 24 points. Boom. And Anthony Miller from your Chicago, I'm talking Chicago Bears, projected for 8 points, gets 17. Boom.
Now, who are some of
Love
those
it.
guys who you think are kind of 1 week booms and they're not going to keep it consistent? Yeah.
1 week booms. I think that oh man, it's tough because I really see all these guys booming more. I think Jamison Crowder doesn't boom as much as he did this
Yeah.
week. 24 points is quite a bit, especially in a subpar passing team. Unless Sam Darnold proves me wrong, which would be awesome to see. Anthony Miller, I don't see Trubisky keeping it up, and Allen Robinson's getting pretty disappointed in his share over there. So
He's
they're gonna
pretty
have to
pissed. Yeah.
they're gonna have to start throwing to him a little bit more. I think Darius Slayton doesn't quite keep that up because Golden Tate should be coming back and getting a little bit more healthy. They do have Sterling Shepard. It's going to be really interesting. But a lot of these guys I could see. Mostert had probably like a 70-yard reception out of the backfield for a touchdown. So that's like 15 points right there. So probably not going to boom quite as much. But all those rest of those, I really see it happening a lot more.
Yeah. That easily could happen. Yeah.
Definitely. If you have Marlon Mack on your team in fantasy, make sure you get rid of him. Achilles out. He's gonna be out for the year.
Le'Veon Bell is on the IR now too.
IR, so he has to be off for at least 3 games. You got James Conner only had 2 points, but that was because he went down with I think it was an ankle sprain also early in the game. And George Kittle's little hyperextension of his knee, that doesn't look too excitable. So be on the lookout for those.
Ryan Antonson, is that how you pronounce it? Says that Sam Darnold will be an MVP.
We need to get Ryan Antonson or whoever that is on for Overreaction Tuesdays.
He's been asking to come on.
I mean, that's a pretty bold prediction right there. Let's look. Sam Darnold had 215 yards, a touchdown, and an interception in week 1. That's pretty tough to put together an MVP.
They looked really bad, but the Bills looked really good too. Okay. All right. Let's wrap it up. Final thoughts on week 1. I got one thing to say. The Patriots are still going, baby.
I'm telling you, and they revamped everything. Belichick is a genius. He knows that he had to revamp things. And Cam came out and said that he's totally fine with being a primary person in the running game, which I would love to see.
Old Billy 1, old Tommy 0.
Love it. I love it. Bill's a genius.
Yeah.
I think once again, like we said, Tom just needs time to get used to it. It's much easier to adapt as a coach rather than a quarterback. But
and as much as I hate it, I kind of like watching the Patriots now without Tom there.
Right? I know.
I really want to see Cam keep succeeding because I love his Cam. Yeah, I like him. He's got a chip on his shoulder and like you can tell he's just having fun that he's playing again. Yeah.
Right, for sure. I think what was really cool was to see I was proven correct with the fact that I think the Arizona Cardinals really are going to be a team that you need to watch this year. So that's going to be exciting to see.
Yeah.
Grateful, absolutely grateful.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be really interesting moving forward to see how the Tampa Bay Bucks kind of start clicking a little bit more. It'll be interesting to see some of these teams that people are overhyping after a week 1 win kind of start to drop off. So.
Yeah. All right, so real quick, anything you want to watch for in week 2?
What I want to watch for in week 2 is I want to watch the Philadelphia Eagles playing the Los Angeles Rams and see how they bounce back. I don't really see it happening because I think that the Eagles are a little bit overhyped and they're going to keep going off too. But what I would like to watch for is Kyler Murray in week 2 and see if he repeats his performance.
Yeah. The game I'm really most looking forward to, not only because it's the Hawks, but the Hawks and Patriots on Sunday night, because obviously we just talked about it. I love the Patriots, and I really want to see. I think they're going to give the Hawks a run through money. I'm not going to I could definitely see it being a close game.
For sure. Yeah. I think like we said, Belichick is a genius. He's going to game plan not only for Cam Newton, but he's also going to game plan for Russell Wilson. It's going to be
it's definitely like a prove it game to see who's legit. For sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Once again, if you're in fantasy football, make sure you're keeping up with a lot of stuff because things are booming. Business is booming. And we've got options. There are options on fantasy football that are unlimited. I mean, you can pretty much unlimited. I just love that so much. But it's going to be interesting. Make sure that you're keeping up on things. Watch our Twitter if you're not following us on Twitter, we're gonna like send out some tweets, maybe on Instagram, whatever, and all that stuff, of like sleepers for the week. Yeah. So if you're a fantasy person and you need help on fantasy, hit us up.
We got the good advice for you. Yeah.
We do.
Is that it?
I love
think
it.
we're good.
That,
I
that
think we're
was
good.
it.
Yeah.
I love this thing. I love
Yeah.
it.
The whole sidebar.
It's so great.
Love sidebar.
Let people know.
All right, Mitch, sign us off, baby.
Oh, for sure. Let me put it into drive first. We're stick shift over here. I love the stick shifts. Once again, we would like to thank you for taking this exit with us this week. We love having interactions, so make sure you tell your friends, watch us live.
Yes.
We'll make sure to send out tweets, updates, whatever they're called, some talks of the tick or whatever it is to let you know when we're going live.
Always
and
tweet
then
out.
we'll
Always tweet out the morning of when we're going live to let you guys know. Yeah.
Yep. And we're trying to stay on a good schedule here and all that kind of stuff. So make sure you're watching for us and get on with us and watch it. If you don't have time to, please though watch the recordings. Let us know how it goes. We like hearing from you.
Absolutely. See you guys next time.
Love it. That was